All right, Neves.
Yep.
Since we're going to be playing some movie video games on the channel,
Oh, yeah.
I got a couple of Nickelodeon ones, a couple of Disney ones that I think we could start out with. Let me know what you think.
Let me see. All right, first we got Dora Saves the Crystal Kingdom.
Yeah.
Okay.
Crystal Kingdom. Nickelodeon banger.
Yeah, I get it. Dora's Big Birthday Adventure, another one.
Yep.
Then another Dora game. Okay, what am I, 3? Hannah Montana the movie.
The movie, the game.
The movie, the game. Yeah, that's not confusing. On PlayStation 3.
You could play as Billy Ray Cyrus.
Oh, good. Not Rico?
Oh, Rico.
And last but fucking not least, we got the History Channel Civil War.
I love the History Channel. Welcome back to the Real Talk Podcast, episode 163. I'm your host, Nathan, and I'm joined by the man himself, Matthew Neves, to my left.
Thank you.
And today, we are going to be talking about what the hell happened to movie theaters.
Movie theaters, I hear a lot of people talk about them. More recently, it's like a lot of complaints, a lot of stories, a lot of weird add-ons that movie theater chains have added on to. We're speaking on behalf of Canadian movie theaters, by the way, because if you didn't know, we are Canadian, so our main complaints are coming from Cineplex and talking about Landmark Cinemas, too.
Yeah.
Those are the two main ones.
And I'm sure that a lot of the problems with Cineplex apply to AMC's in the States and a lot of whatever the big chain is there.
We used to have AMC.
Yeah, I remember there was one in Vaughan.
I saw not Rise of Skywalker, Force Awakens when it first came out in that theater. And I think they closed it down like pre-COVID.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I saw some movies as a kid there, but nothing too memorable.
No, exactly.
But I guess that's AMC is the biggest one in the States.
Yeah, they had a big. I mean, they're still going strong.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were a little bit in Canada. Yeah. Reason why we want to talk about movie theaters is because like we had a lot of episodes that were diving into Letterboxd, diving into things outside that's still related to like film.
Yeah.
And we're just like, have we ever talked just about movie theaters? And we haven't yet. So
The movie theater experience, I think, is so important to film. Even in 2024, I think it'll forever be really important to film.
Absolutely. And you always have different quality, different standards, but at the end of the day, when the lights dim and you're like, oh shit, we're done with those fucking commercials. And it's like, get ready. 3, 2, 1.
It still feels like an experience, right?
Yeah.
It's still exciting. It's an event to go see a film. And I think that's really important to the success of films and keeping the magic of films alive.
Exactly. I fully agree, especially when you get a really good fucking movie. It's the biggest screen you're going to watch it in. You might as well go all out type of thing. So yeah, we got some notes here about different things we want to talk about within movie theaters and just our own personal experiences and other people's experiences that we want to dive into. So,
yeah. Mostly, I think we should start with the critique of the problems we see with current movie theaters and how it's very much shifted to just like a movie theater chain running the theater game in Canada.
Yeah.
For the most part, a few chains now, which is good, but for a long time, it was just like a Cineplex,
Yeah, and also, some people don't know how theater chains work in terms of getting their profit.
Yeah.
So if there's a movie studio that has any Marvel film, like, hey, we got Avengers, this movie costs $200 million, we want to put it in 10 of your 16 theaters.
Right.
You talk to Cineplex about that, and Cineplex said, okay, here's our fee. You can do that. You clearly have the money. Boom, boom, boom. That's how they get their profit. Hence why the numbers of opening weekend is because theater chains have to calculate that, especially within North America.
Yeah.
So Avengers might have 4,000 theaters in North America. Each one is accounted for, and then they average out the total.
That's right.
So if you're an indie film with not as much money as Marvel, the likelihood of you getting as many theaters in Cineplex as an Avengers film is highly unlikely. Tarantino talked about it with The Hateful Eight and how he wanted his theater to be in this specific LA theater. I forgot what it was called.
Yeah.
And then it was like, no, Force Awakens already took him.
Which is crazy.
Because that movie costs much more than Hateful Eight, and we'll get more theater openings, theater times than Hateful Eight will, despite the fact that Hateful Eight got better reviews, was more critically acclaimed, and looks better on film.
Of course.
So
I think it's what's interesting too. Like obviously, studios need theaters and theaters need studios.
Right.
It's a partnership that they have to work hand in hand for it to work. But I think, post COVID, we're seeing a lot of simultaneous releases
Yeah.
to streaming platforms as well as theaters, and the window being shortened.
Yes.
Like,
really short.
a big amount. Like sometimes, what I saw was like a lot of theaters are like 17 days
Which is
before-
insane.
before you could sell it digitally, which is insane.
Yeah.
When the standard when we were growing up was like 90 days
Yeah. Oh,
to DVD.
and even before that, because I remember my dad always told me this, where it's like, movies like Gone with the Wind and those movies.
Yeah.
And my dad's like, well, you realize they re-released those a lot because they didn't have home video. So
Yeah.
they got even more ticket sales upon a 5th anniversary, upon a 10th anniversary. We don't get those anniversary screenings as much anymore, unless it's a Star Wars.
Yeah.
So it's like, fuck, man.
Yeah, that's true. I was just watching a podcast about Halloween,
Yeah.
and I was watching the Rewatchables. Shout out to Bill Simmons,
Nice.
and he was talking about his experience. Like, he was a kid in the 70s, so
Mm-hmm.
he was like, when it came out in 78, I was too young to see it. My parents
Right.
wouldn't let me go.
Yeah.
But he said it was re-released in 79,
Yeah.
and that's that whole October, and also got another re-release before Halloween 2 came out.
Which makes sense because
it's
you
like-
want to get.
Every year you could have saw that, and it was in theaters for months.
Fuck, man. Yeah, that's not happening as much because of the fact that streaming services exist. And Warner Brothers was a big impact on that. They had HBO Max and they wanted Tenet to be released in HBO Max
Yeah.
exclusive. And Nolan's like, fuck that. Hence why he doesn't work with Warner Brothers anymore because of that whole debacle. I managed to see Tenet in theaters. That was like my first COVID movie in theaters.
So did I. I remember that. That was weird.
It was like very apocalyptic
was
because
kinda
nobody
s-
else was there.
It was scary.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, no, it's very odd how things have changed post COVID due to that. I feel like theater chains have changed slightly as the years go on, but it still made a huge impact.
Yeah, it's still not figured out. Like the whole
Not really.
the whole time period of films in theaters. I think studios are still trying to see what they can get away with,
Yeah.
and theaters are threatening like, oh no, if you release simultaneously, we won't show your studio's movies. And there's all this back and forth and threatening. And I think the rules are not set in stone yet.
No, yeah.
They're still figuring that out. So I think it's in a weird place, but I think it's obvious to both sides that they need each other. So they have to work
Absolutely.
out something that's mutually beneficial. Like there's enough money to be made.
Oh, absolutely. This is millions and millions of dollars that they are holding on to.
It's just a matter of like you got to stop being greedy and like find out how you could split this pot the best way
Yeah,
between studios and theaters.
exactly. The variety really matters in this scenario. I want to talk about like early Cineplex experiences because I remember. You remember Time Play?
I adored Time Play.
Time Play was good.
I made it a point to always show up early to a theater, to a movie because of Time Play. I looked forward to it. I always had the app.
Yeah.
I was always ready to play. I thought it was so much fun, especially when you got a big movie coming out,
Right.
like a Marvel movie.
Yeah, man.
And you go to the theater and you know that it's going to be packed and you're going to be playing against like a good amount of people.
Yeah.
It's so fun. It was so fun.
Yeah.
And do you know why they stopped doing it? I have no idea, but
I you know what made me mad was I was thinking about that. It's like, why don't we see that anymore? And then I realized something was they have these ads now where it's just like a plain picture with a QR code on it. And I'm like, is that our replacement?
Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me? Because the thing about Time Play was it was essentially Kahoot for the movie theaters.
it was fantastic.
I was like, that's amazing. You know, you get these awesome questions. You know, it's just like, who is so and so? And whoever answers it quickly, they're the top of the charts. This is the top of the charts in the province. Remember that?
Yeah.
It's always some random guy, and you was like, that's the fucking guy.
Yeah, and it's not like the rewards were like costing them that much money. It was
Oh,
like,
no.
It was like if you won a couple of Time Play games, maybe you'd get some free popcorn. It wasn't anything significant, but it was just fun.
Yeah.
So I don't know why they took that out. It makes no sense because I don't know the statistics, and I'm not like
Same, yeah.
whatever, but I feel like more people came early to play Time Play before.
Yeah, they did.
And Cineplex runs a bunch of ads before the film.
Yeah.
So wouldn't it be like more beneficial to you to like to turn to advertisers and say, look, we have this game,
Mm-hmm.
so like a lot of people are going to be in their seats because we
Yeah.
have this game, and then you could show your ad to more people.
Absolutely.
It just seems logical to me.
Because time play was like that. You got to see a lot of people come in early for the
Exactly.
screening. Now, dude, I always think of like specific movie experiences where it's like I see people come in 10 minutes late.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck, man, are we really gonna be doing that now? Like 10 minutes late, 15 minutes late. It's like we're at the fucking title screen of the movie and they're still walking like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Damn.
But the days of like me what's my incentive to show up 15 minutes before my time? There's none. I try to time it right on time.
Yeah.
Or even 5 minutes after because I know I'm not missing anything.
Yeah, some of the trailers kind of suck either way. Like maybe you want to see a couple trailers, but that shouldn't be just the incentive. You're
Yeah.
kind of like, whatever.
Yeah, exactly. They
Oh,
need to add more. I don't know why that's not obvious. Like in a time where it's harder to get people to the theater, you got to give them a reason to show up, another reason
Yeah.
to show up. And maybe they wouldn't show up just for time play, but it's just something extra.
Something. Give us something. We have the technology. We're capable of doing this.
Yeah, how hard was time play for them to set up?
It's not fucking hard.
It's literally Kahoot, like you said.
Yeah, it's no different too in terms of the questions then, because they still do questions for movies where it's like, oh, who did this? Who was in this? And it's just like, well, why can't this be interactive? Because that's the thing. Like movie theaters always did that, even back in the day, where it's like, oh, who was in this film? And you'd answer it, but you just answer it with your buddies and stuff.
Yeah, I don't know if there was an American equivalent to time play, but that was a great time to be going to Cineplex. That was one of my favorite things that they ever did.
I loved it too, man. I wish it kept going.
R.I.P. Time Play.
R.I.P.
Hopefully
Time Play.
comes back in some kind of form.
I think
it
it will.
has to, man.
Yeah.
They have to figure something interactive out because right now it is really boring to show up early.
It is because if the trailers aren't good, man, you really are just sitting there and like,
Yeah,
fuck,
and I
just
feel
start
like
the
it
movie.
takes a long time to get to the trailers these days. You got to go through like fucking 10 Scotiabank ads.
15 car ads.
Yeah,
like
it's
it's always the same fucking ads, and it's the ones that are super expensive.
Yeah, exactly.
So I fully agree with you on that.
R.I.P. Time Play.
Post COVID, have you noticed more people on their phones?
Big time,
Fucking hell, man. I hate that shit.
big time.
I fucking hate that
People
shit.
respect the theater experience less and less.
Yeah, like wow. I remember shit, man. It was like on bright. It was light mode. This fucking guy was in the front row and I could see it. And I always choose seats from the back.
Yeah, me too. I like to sit closer to
The
back.
reason is because I've had terrible experiences where I've been like maybe a little bit closer to the theater front row, whatever. There's always somebody like bumping my seat. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
That's the worst, man.
That is terrible.
That shit gets me blood red mad.
So I always take the back. I'm same. I always take the far back because nobody's kicking my seat, and I'm the one like watching over everyone.
Yeah,
making
I do like sitting in the last row. as
It's
well.
great, and to me, it has a better feeling, especially IMAX screens, because you see it like fully.
Yeah.
See the whole thing.
A lot of people claim that the best seat is like middle row, middle of the
I think
aisle.
technically speaking, yes, because sound mixers and sound recorders, they're always like the centerfold.
That's where they
So
sit.
they hear it the best that way.
But it's like if you're sitting in the back, how much of a difference is it? I mean,
You don't have to deal with the Susie C kicker or whatever.
yeah, exactly that too.
But yeah, fuck that. Hey, fellas, anybody watching this, if you are in the theater, turn off your phone. And I'm not saying like put it on silent. I hear the vibrations,
Yeah.
all right?
Especially if you're in a full theater. Like, look,
Yeah.
if you're in a theater where it's like you have a whole section to yourself in the corner, like,
Oh, that's different.
yeah, it's different. But if you're in a full theater and you're on your phone during the movie, like you
Read the room.
know people are looking at you.
Yeah. I fucking hate that, especially when they're messaging. And I'm like, I saw one guy on like Snapchat. I'm like, are you
just
fucking
sending
kidding me?
pictures of the screen and
Get
shit.
the fuck out of here. I don't want to see that shit, all right? He's like, what's the big deal, man? I was like, play Subway Surfers in the washroom then. Do not fucking like...
For real.
Fuck that. Pre-ordering seats. Remember when pre-ordering wasn't an extra cost?
Yeah.
Fuck, man. They really got us there.
They did because, which is another bullshit money grab.
Those
because
clever
it's like
bastards.
nowadays, they know that everyone just wants to pre-order.
Yeah.
Everybody wants it as easy as possible. Everybody wants to order the tickets on the phone, like order tickets beforehand on your phone
Yeah.
or on your laptop, and that they force you to pre-order it there.
Yeah, because I get anxiety, man. Because whenever like I go to a theater, I've only done this a handful of times. I would just buy the tickets
Yeah.
at the theater. I get worried because there's this part of me where I'm just like, am I gonna get shit seats?
Yeah.
Because everyone pre-orders.
And these days, I never know.
Yeah.
There's some movies we go see a lot of movies opening week.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be like, oh, this one got some hype, and
Yeah.
maybe it's gonna be packed. No, it'll be empty. You know.
Yeah, there's always those two. Like, it depends on the movie, obviously.
I saw Joker day one,
Joker day one, and it was like,
and it was like there was lots of seats around me.
okay. But I'm talking Deadpool and Wolverine. Like, I knew that one I had to pre-order. I was like, fuck, I can't
that
walk
one,
into
it
the
was
theater.
Weeks before.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
man.
was weeks before.
It all depends though. It all depends on like what it is, and people notice that. Cineplex is like, all right, man, we'll give you an extra $4 now, $5 for a
Just so
pre-ordering.
dirty, bro.
Fuck, as if tickets aren't expensive already.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a thing in the States, but these like fees that Cineplex puts on this is like tickets are so it's expensive to go to the theater now, man.
Can I tell you all the weird theater formats that Cineplex offers? Landmark doesn't offer this. Hold on, shout out to Landmark. We both support Landmark Cinemas. It is a much better theater chain than Cineplex.
Landmark supremacy. We need more landmarks, especially in the city of Toronto. Please open a landmark. I will be your number one valued customer.
Yeah.
I will stand outside with a sign, spinning it, asking for customers to come in. Because I hate Cineplex with a burning passion.
Yeah.
And I want Landmark in Toronto. It's just a little too far for me now. It's like, fuck, I gotta go 40 minutes to go watch this movie. So
Yeah.
I end up at Cineplex a lot out of convenience, but
Is your main one Queensway because of how close it is?
Queensway is my main one,
Yeah.
and I end up at Yorkdale a lot, unfortunately.
Oh, yeah. Fuck, you do Yorkdale.
Yeah.
I'm fucking Vaughan.
Yeah.
If I had to pick a Cineplex,
Which
Vaughan.
is not bad. I mean, we saw Megalopolis there.
did,
It was
yeah.
a pretty good experience.
Yeah.
I do like that theater. And they have the true IMAX.
Oh, dude. I went to see Megalopolis and IMAX in that theater too.
They have the true IMAX.
Yeah, man. But Cineplex offers other things other than IMAX. I want to list them out for you. Do you know what Screen X is?
I saw Napoleon in Screen X.
Get the
in
fuck
Screen X.
no,
Yeah. It was literally the worst experience
dude.
of all time.
For those of you who don't know what Screen X is, it's
It's basically they try to extend the screen. There's got to be a version of this in the States too.
yeah,
Whatever they call it. They
Yeah.
extend the screen with these like two screens on the side. But guess what? The movie wasn't shot like that. It
wasn't.
When you have like a lineup of people, like imagine the front lines of the battle in Napoleon.
yeah.
And they're showing the lineup of people, and then there's like two guys on this screen that are stretched to hell and look like PS2 characters.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot enjoy a film like that. It is absolutely butchering
Yeah.
the cinematography in most films. Luckily, usually they only use it for particular scenes, and then they
Okay.
turn it off.
That's good.
But it's painful. It's really hard to watch.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but terrible things. This is a new thing. I think this was around 2022 or something because I don't remember Avengers having this shit.
No.
Obvious ones that we all have seen. 3D. I think 3D's kind of dying. It
But had a massive boom when we were like
was like Avatar.
10 to 15.
Yeah.
It
Yes.
was a massive boom at that time.
Yeah.
Every movie, it felt like, had a 3D release.
And I feel like the only time I would watch a 3D movie is like Avatar.
Yeah. But I remember wearing those stupid glasses so often.
Same.
Getting a headache and shit.
Yes. Oh my God. Okay. Yeah. I had headaches too, depending on what type of film it was. If it was like a big CGI heavy, I was like, oh, I felt sick, man. Like something about it was wrong. Underrated though, in my opinion, depending on the movie, D-Box.
Still haven't done that.
I kind of fuck with D-Box. I remember watching Tron Legacy in D-Box.
That would be a good one. There's like certain movies that I could
Yeah.
like next Fast and Furious. If I have to subject myself to that,
Oh,
I
yeah.
probably want to do it in D-Box
or like Mad Max Fury
or
Road if
something
that ever
like
gets
that.
re-released.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, D-Box is great if you know the action film is good, like Furiosa. You got to
Yeah.
know your type of movie. Ultra AVX. Have you ever done Ultra AVX before?
Yeah,
Is it any good?
because Yorkdale doesn't have IMAX,
Oh,
so that's the best they got.
Yeah. Okay. So it's a good like replacement for IMAX because of how the
It's
screen is.
it's the poor man's IMAX.
Yeah.
It really is. Like that's their biggest theater at the Yorkdale one.
Right.
So I end up seeing when I go to Yorkdale, like a lot of if it's a big release, I end
Mm-hmm.
up seeing it in Ultra AVX. It's not bad, but it just makes you wish you were at a true IMAX theater.
That's fair enough. Yeah. Another one is VIP. This is a new one too, I would say. VIP is similar to Screen X in terms of introduction. VIP is essentially you get to drink alcohol,
And you get food delivered to you.
and the seats are slightly better.
Yeah, seats are slightly better, still not as good as Landmark standard seats.
And you can buy alcohol at Landmark.
Yeah, and you could buy alcohol at Landmark.
So VIP at Cineplex, man. You gotta step up your game, man.
What I will say, the food is like slightly better than I expected.
Yeah.
I've done VIP food like 2 times. Both times I was like pretty satisfied with it.
Right.
Look, it's expensive. It's not
It
something you
is.
could do for every movie release because it's like, if I go with my girlfriend and we're spending like over $100.
It's basically like a 2-in-1, which dinner and a movie, you're doing it at the same time.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Which is cool. The service is good. The server comes up to you. You pick from a menu. They deliver it while the movie's playing. Last one I did was Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
Oh, that's a good one. You know what? My first VIP experience was the Batman.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. That's how I saw the
That was your
Batman.
first VIP experience?
Yeah,
Oh,
it
the
was
Batman.
nice. It
That's
was
a
a
good
good.
one.
It was fucking great. As I was looking at the Cineplex app, I gotta tell you this one because I don't believe it exists, but it is an option in one of these theaters. It's called Ultra AVX 3D D-Box Dolby Atmos Laser Projection.
All that's together?
Yeah.
It feels like there's commas that should be missing.
I'm not joking. So what I'm gathering from this is you have your 3D glasses, right?
Right.
And there are some seats that are D-Box.
Okay, so I have 3D glasses on. I'm vibrating.
Ultra AVX, so you're not getting IMAX, you're getting the Ultra AVX, and it's Dolby Atmos, so you're getting slightly better sound from Dolby, and it's also laser projection, which I'm assuming is slightly different than regular digital.
Yeah. Yorkdale offers laser projection.
The fuck is that?
I have no idea what it means. Just a fucking excuse to charge me another $5. Like, I hate it.
I don't know what theater chain has this. I was looking through the app and I saw this long ass option. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like a 12:30 showing for like Deadpool
Yeah.
and Wolverine, and then the classic regular.
I love a good regular.
Just a regular, man.
I love a good regular. A lot of times the regular just doesn't line up with like the time I want to go see a movie.
Yeah, it's always shit times.
if I want to go see it on a weeknight or whatever, like sometimes it just doesn't line up. It's too early or it's too late.
Yeah.
So I end up subjecting myself to fucking Screen X or something. Like sometimes like I need to watch a movie in these 2 days because
Yeah.
we're gonna record. So it's like I gotta take what I could get.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's Screen X, and sometimes I'm paying an extra. Bro, Ultra AVX is like a significant amount more than standard.
I think is it around the same as D-Box because they're around close to 30 now, 30
Which is
something dollars.
So, guys, we've lost the plot here.
Yes.
Like, I don't know what the statistics are. And I would love to know. But if you lower the price, won't more people come? And won't that eventually equal more revenue? Like, I feel like so many Cineplex, like, after opening week, are showing movies to, like, 5 people.
Yeah.
And they're wasting that theater time.
Back in the day, I did not know this. Back in the day, when theaters and home video was still kind of new, VHSs, they would have dollar movie theaters, which is essentially like the film reel was used up so many times that they're like, okay, we're not going to pay full price for this. We're going to take it to dollar theater chains where you pay $1 to watch a poor version of this, but you're still watching it. So like Jurassic Park, 1994.
Brilliant.
You can say,
Yeah.
why don't they fucking do that?
Yeah.
It's essentially like a cam rip, but you're still getting that big screen and it's slightly less quality, but it's still like quality.
You're making films accessible to people.
Yeah.
Accessible to families that are not that can't take their whole family to the theater on a weekend because it costs $150.
Yeah. Oh my fucking god! That,
You know,
that
a family of 4, bro.
Yeah.
How many times can you go to the theater a year as a family of 4? You know, like making regular income.
I try to do that with my family. Like we did that for Joker 2. It was all 4 of us and regular theater, Landmark. We were reaching like 80 to 90.
You see what I'm saying? And that's without the $30 popcorn.
Yeah.
Without anything.
Yeah.
And like if you're taking kids, they're gonna want popcorn.
Oh,
and
yeah.
everything. It's like you gotta make it more accessible for families and stuff.
Absolutely. I fully agree
And
with
I feel
that.
like that would translate to more revenue. I really genuinely
yeah.
believe it would.
Yeah. They got to do family deals.
Parents are always looking for things to take their kids to, but it needs to be cheap.
They're only going to show them like 1 or 2 movies a year, if that.
And they have the initiative of like the Saturday morning movie that I think is like
Yeah.
$5.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
But it's only Saturday morning. Like we need more than that.
Yes, we do. Oh man, it fucking sucks, man. They got to change their prices with that nonsense. At the end of the day, though, landmark prices are, in my opinion, significantly better.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
I fuck with it so much.
You want to end off with some memorable theater stories / experiences that we've had?
Sure. I'll tell you my long legs one. It was I watched it with Dawn on a Monday night. I told you it was a packed theater.
Yeah.
For a Monday night, which I was surprised. There was these 2 girls that like walked in, and they fucking like made the biggest noise. They were loud, and I'm like, oh fucking hell, man. And the guy for the theater chain walked up like 5 minutes later because of the noise complaints and was like talking to them. And then they kept yelling and stuff. And I'm like, we're just trying to watch a fucking movie. Luckily, we didn't hear too much of their argument because they were at the front row. And I picked seats at the very far back.
So they were like chatting amongst each other or like
Chatting
Yeah,
amongst
the
each
whole
other.
time?
They were loud. The theater guy was like, you got to leave. And then he took them aside. And then 20 minutes later, they come back
No
and sit
way.
back down. Luckily, they shut up. But
that's crazy.
like, what the fuck is wrong with you guys? Like,
What about like a positive, like a movie that you'll never forget going to and seeing for the first time? Maybe it wasn't like something crazy happened at the theater, but just like capturing the magic of like going to see a movie for the first time at the theater and one that you remember forever. Like for me, I'll never forget going to see Get Out at Yorkdale. And I didn't know much about that movie.
holy fuck.
I didn't know much about that movie. I knew Jordan Peele from Key and Peele.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't even know if I knew he was directing.
Yeah,
honestly,
yeah.
I kind of just went in with my friends, and I remember leaving like, holy shit, that changed my life. Like that was one of the best movies I've ever seen. Experiences, like I had so much fun with it.
I watched Get Out with my mom at the Brampton movie theater. I forgot what it was called. Silver City, I think. We sat there, and everyone had the energy. Everyone knew what Get Out, like that energy. And right as the scene where the cop car shows up and everyone's like, oh, everyone moaned. They were like,
Yeah.
oh. And then when it was his buddy that came out, I shit you not, people stood up and clapped.
It was like MCU, like
Yeah.
It was I
I-
had a similar experience. People were cheering for sure.
I was like, fuck yeah, man. Like, I fucking love that. That was one of those moments where everyone in the theater knew, oh, this is a fucking amazing movie.
That's so funny that we both had such a memorable Get Out experience. It speaks to how powerful that movie was,
That
especially
movie's so
watching it in
good.
theaters when you don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
That's his masterpiece, man. I
Loved
that
it because
movie.
it had, like you said, that MCU energy. But MCU has so much pre-knowledge of everything.
It was
Get
just
Out.
new. It was fresh. It was so exciting.
I'm so glad you had a similar
That's
experience
funny.
to Get
Yeah.
Out.
Let us know your experiences in the comments. We would love to know any weird, memorable theater experiences that you guys have had, and let us know how you think they can improve the theater experience because there's definitely some room for improvement.
Absolutely.
Don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe to your boys. It means the world to us. And most importantly, don't forget to take care, brush your hair.
Peace.